got the whole damn verse spinning around you with open arms. It's a race against time that plunges you deep into the black. What are you gonna do when the void stares back? You'll never stop the revolution. Time to begin your evolution. Take a leap of faith. You gotta break the illusion. You gotta make your own solution. Take a leap of faith. The future's just a void, jump away.
Greetings, humanity. Now, apparently everyone can hear me. One can but hope. Welcome, once again, to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim, I use he/him pronouns, and this is our Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw. I am playing Cole Hayden, Human Gunslinger. Let us go around and say hi to everybody, starting with Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. I use he/him pronouns, and tonight I'm playing the effervescent Rekmara, the Aviara druid.
You're so effervescent. It's awesome. Hello, Cazimi.
Hi, Jim. I'm Cazimi. I use she/her pronouns, and as usual this evening, I'm playing Clangswell, Nunu, Fritz, Holtzbottom, Thunderstruck, who, despite the name, is also not effervescent. And they use they/them pronouns.
Awesome, awesome. Now let us go over to May. Hello.
Hi everybody, my name is May. I am playing Lasness Chain Tower, Star Dwarf Paladin. We both use she/her pronouns. Glad to be here.
Yay, me too, me too. And now over to Mem. Hello.
Hey, I'm Mem. I'm eating.
Oh crap!
I put it in right before it thought it was gonna be done. I wasn't ready. Sorry.
No, I should have just seen that and vamped, but sadly I am a bit out of practice.
That's okay. That's okay. It's my fault. Tonight I'm playing Narita Galeen, the novel of which we both use she/her pronouns. Narita is pretty effervescent.
Yeah, fairly, yeah. Excellent. Well, I, as a person, have just remembered this game uses dice, and but to save you the glorious sounds of them scattering all over my desk as I dump them out, I shall now mute as we go over to our illustrious station master, Alyssa. Hello.
Hello, and welcome back, everybody. My name is Alyssa. My pronouns are she and her, and I play everybody else. So with most games on this channel, we'll be using the safety tools X card, N card, and O card. If at any point we come across subject matter that's crossing a line for anyone, feel free to type an X in the chat, make an X symbol, and we will stop, rewind, add a dash of retcon, and it never happened. If we're kind of towing the line, and it's okay to have the subject in the game, but we don't want a graphic description, that's where the N comes into play. We will pan to the fake fireplace, fade to black, and move on. And if we're coming into a dramatic moment and you're okay to pile on the drama, feel free to proactively type an O in the chat, or if you just want to check in because things are getting intense and you want to make sure you haven't gone a little too far, you can type an O with a question mark, and then we'll all respond as needed. And if at any point you're in the moment and you're freaking out and you just need to say, could we just not? With the spiders. That's okay too. Previously, on Ghosts of Saltmaw, upon their arrival at Gearmaw Station, after cleansing Asteroid Abbey of its undead scourge and uncovering the Void Prince's plot to amass an army of husks, our intrepid freelancers found the docks in an uproar over an escaped arachnohorse, an 8-legged, 1-ton creature of myth and magic, with the agility of a spider and the highly accurate yet imprecise danger sense of the Equus caballus, which had broken loose from its handlers and was running amok in the marketplace. Rek'Mara was persuaded to help capture and transport the alien beast to the menagerie in exchange for a little financial appreciation, of course, and with a little help from the space cowboy Coalhaden, the druid soon had Sleipnir well in hand. After taking care of a few errands on Saltmaw, the crew returned to the newly rebranded Unum and jumped to the menagerie. There, they quickly handed off their live cargo to the local maw keepers and set out to explore the station, where they spotted their young friend Oceanus, escorting nearly a dozen Nautilid youngsters on a tour of the habitat. They quickly learned that while Oceanus was enjoying his new assignment, the junior seeker was already in well over their head. Not only had one of their charges gone missing, but the missing child was none other than the captain's daughter, Sanabra. Naturally, the party volunteered to help Oceanus find the missing girl and proceeded to the penguin habitat where she was last seen. Rek'Mara began conversing with a penguin named Skip, which afforded Cole the chance to get some choice photos to send back to Sergeant Watson. And the party soon learned that Sanabra had managed to climb into the penguin tank when no one was looking and found her way through the aqueducts. Rek'Mara and the 2 adult Nautilids, Narita and Oceanus, climbed into the tank, giving Rek'Mara the chance to flex his wild-shaped skills and turn into a penguin himself, while Cole, Lasnus, and Fritz kept tabs on the hatchlings on the observation decks. Making their way to the next habitat, they encountered a cephalopig who tried to convince them to play matchmaker between herself and a handsome frog across the hall, and finally came to an underwater replica of an old-timey shipwreck. There, on the sandbar, sat Sanabra having tea and sushi with a giant, awakened crab called Barnacle Bess. The child was unharmed and somewhat reluctant to say goodbye to her new friend, but Oceanus managed to convince her to rejoin the group and finish the tour. Eventually, everyone made their way back to the shuttle bay to say their goodbyes. On their way there, Rek'Mara left a sternly worded letter on the wall where a couple druids named Bee and Witwicky had signed their names in druidic graffiti, and Sanabra became convinced that she had seen a mermaid swimming through the void of space. No one else saw a thing, but Oceanus confided to Narita that he believed the void maids might be the key to their people's future. Narita was skeptical, but promised she would let him know if she ever found a real void maid. We rejoin the freelancers as they take their leave from Oceanus with a newly acquired +1 photonic lash named for the proverbial captain's daughter. So, it's up to you if you wish to spend any more time at the menagerie, or if you're heading straight back to Saltmaw to pick up your next mission.
So Fritz isn't all that excited about hanging around more creatures, not their style. So Fritz is probably ahead of the rest of the group, headed back to the ship to decommission the arachno steed stall and put it back into the semblance of a normal ship.
It probably won't take you very long. Anything else that anybody wants to do? Are we just making the jump back to base?
I can't think of anything.
Okay, fair enough. So you take care of reorganizing and righting the ship, and you jump back to Saltmaw. And this time, things are much calmer. There don't seem to be any escaped animals or alien beasts. You're free to go about business as usual.
Yeah, Fritz is directly hitting the local commissary / snack shop and probably will be there a couple hours.
All right. What's everybody else doing? Well, Fritz is shopping.
So Rekmar is probably in his quarters using the shard of the obelisk that he has to try to locate the nearest other shards.
All right. So you take a moment to commune with your item, and you still have a sense of the shard that you previously not exactly located, because it's way out. You get the sense somewhere near the edge of the galactic frontier, but it does seem to be gaining distance steadily closer and closer.
Sorry, it's heading in my direction?
Yes.
Or our direction? Oh.
In your general direction. It's not heading away from Saltmaw. It's
It's
not
coming right for
necessarily
us.
heading specifically to Saltmaw, but it is gaining proximity. It's not as far away as the first time you discovered it.
Oh, that's good to know.
I think I'd like to have Lasness go to the local outpost for the Order of the Sepulchre. Sepulchre? Say it right? It would help if I turned the caption
Potato. Potato spatula.
on. Below the intersection.
That's where it's usually located, yes. We went over this. I thought.
Much too large.
Sometimes.
All right. So you head to the Sepulchre Knights headquarters, and
Yes.
the resident Vect Paladin 5-0 is there.
Hello and good day.
Good day, Lasness.
I have important information to log with the Order of the Sepulchre. Sepulchre. Sorry. The dwarven tongue stumbles over that word.
It's fine. I have the habit of switching between 3 languages, and I never know. It's what comes from being a translator unit.
Indeed. Did I ever tell you the time? And then Lasness goes into an extremely long story about how she went to this midnight rave and she met this person who spoke Elvish but with a totally different inflection of the tongue, and it turned out that this guy taught her, but he spoke 2 languages opposite. And it was like crazy. And then 37 minutes pass before she gets to that point.
And you notice that 5-0 sort of every once in a while will just put in a yes, 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 I see. Oh, that's interesting. And he does frequently switch between languages. So sometimes you know what he's saying, and sometimes it sounds like this strange basso guttural. He speaks Orcish. and sometimes it's like all like soft and breathy, and sometimes it's just in common.
See? That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, I know I've taken up enough of your time, even though I guess time is really just an abstract concept that we use to limit the beginning and the end of the universe, huh?
I suppose so.
You know it. Catch you later. And she struts off, but she's actually like really super worried about what they saw,
Uh-huh.
which is why she ended up talking so much.
Okay. Did she actually like file her report, or
No,
did
she's
she
finally
just...
on her way to do that. I feel bad for the next person that crosses her path.
Go and log in and do what you need to do.
Have I ever met anyone else in this outpost?
Every once in a while you'll see some of like the general like station security coming and going because they kind of cooperate, but as far as you know, Trimaxian is the only knight of your order who is stationed on Saltmaw due to budgetary reasons.
Those dang budgetary reasons. They always have enough. But she finishes filing her report, which literally only takes like 30 seconds. And she comes back out immediately and she goes, you know, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. They never have enough money for us on the ground, but they always have plenty of money to give themselves raises. I wonder.
Yes, quite so.
I mean, like, I don't even know if they're ever going to get to my report. And that's when she starts blabbing about everything that, and then she starts blabbing about everything that she saw and she put in the report, particularly about the Legion of Zombie Hordes.
Oh, yes, that.
Yes.
That is troubling.
Yeah, like, it's a legion of zombies. In a horde-like formation.
Did you actually count them?
I didn't have time. I should have just grabbed a picture. You know, usually I'm so quick to press print screen.
And did you get any names or any persons of interest?
Holy crap, let me check my notes. Okay, good. I wrote down what kind of music Unum likes. His name is Unum.
Important.
Yeah, I definitely didn't put a name in.
I definitely didn't. Oh, but
I'm
did Lasness?
really proud of myself. I'd like to phone a friend.
Okay. Would you like to phone the station master?
I think I might.
All right. So you encountered one survivor at the Abbey, named, well, she called herself Knife Catcher Kian. And she said that she was a freelancer who accidentally got roped in to help a crew that turned out to be pirates. She didn't really give any names, but from what other information you had been gathering, it seemed that these people were either working for or to further the agenda of the late Void Prince. Gosh, now I can't remember his name either.
One that was working that the Scarlet Brotherhood is playing against everyone with.
Yes. You found a connection,
in our ship
possible
logs.
connection in your ship logs to
I wrote that down.
To the merchant.
The Merchant Prince, right?
Gellin Primewater. A figure who was referred to as the Merchant Prince, but near as you can figure, the primary merchant on Saltmaw is Gellin Primewater. There is another family that does some shipping and also fishing, but they're not as prominent as Primewater is, primarily because the head of the family is a teenage boy who's still learning the ropes after his mother's untimely death. And you also learned of possible connections to the late captain of the Infinite Tomorrow, who is supposedly dead, but people still apparently keep throwing his name around in certain circles.
In certain underground circles, they keep using his holographic image for their nighttime raves.
Yes.
I mean, it's awesome, but then you gotta think about, the proprietary nature, self-expression once you're dead.
And there's that whole demon lord of the undead thing going on in the background too.
Yeah, that's
Just
really
minor
gonna
irritations.
That's gonna affect all the EPs that they're planning on coming out. All right. So I dropped the name of Keon and explained that all of this seems to be a pretty big, massive setup. And I turned to my other brethren and say, "What do you think we should do?"
That is troublesome news, but unless we have some hard evidence, the Planetary Council isn't going to appreciate me making accusations.
I don't know, a zombie horde and demon lord trying to rip the Maws apart seem kind of interference worthy, don't you think? I mean, shouldn't we just fire this up the chain of command?
We could certainly try. So you're suggesting not even bothering with the council? Are you suggesting going up the chain of Sepulchre Knights?
Kinda. Like,
Sending a message to the Solar Citadel?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, fire up the beacons and all that, from asteroid to asteroid and meteor to meteor in a really cool, epic shot.
That is certainly something 5-0 could arrange.
We could use the radio, just saying.
That is kind of how it works. Every Maw station has like an ether radio transmitter, and then it just goes from station to and there's like amplifiers spaced throughout the network, and things go.
The relay system, yeah.
Yes, a relay
Yes.
system.
Like, I think that's even how they do it at NASA and stuff.
Across light years.
Special radio waves that can travel through maws individually.
Yes. There are also ways to super compress a small amount of data to send it a really, really, really long way if you don't have relays, but that's getting into technical stuff that we might not need to deal with right now.
All right, but maybe next time then. Fine, we won't light the beacons. We'll use the radio. We never light the beacons anymore.
All right. So 5-0 will forward your report up the chain of command.
Thank you.
He would probably do it anyway because protocol. But yes, he does his best to reassure you in 3 languages.
I gotta say, your elocution is always perfect.
Lovely to see you as always, Lasness. It gets rather lonely around here without you.
Same with you. Next time, you can go on Unum. I think you'd like them. And she heads off back to the ship.
All right.
She's proud that she did the thing. Proud.
And of course, once she enters the ship, she immediately says, "I did the thing," right?
Yes.
Fritz is very glad he's not on the ship when she gets back, knowing the way she likes to tell her stories of all of her adventures.
By the way, she also spent the whole way back just listening to straight Com-A music.
Okay. Good to know. At least it's not the murmurs. That's just plain static in between comm channels. Although you never know, you did discover some pirates sending covert messages that way. All right, so what is Narita up to?
So, Narita is. Narita's wondering about Chiron, about some undead. Let's see. Wondering more about Cirigal? Is that who that person was?
Circle. Yes, that's the dead pirate captain that everybody keeps whispering about.
And wondering if by knowing more about that person, if that would help our beloved Rekmara in any way, shape, or form, or if she should kind of focus on Chiron and uncovering more for the Nautilus. Probably that. But she's also just very intrigued by Rekmarov because he's so rude.
Okay. Well, Ted is listening. If you happen to be thinking out loud, Ted is listening.
Mhm.
And while he's listening, he is putting brightly colored vegetable noodles into a bowl of hot water with dill pickles.
Is this for is this your snack? Wasn't this is an out of character question? Was there somebody who liked pickles? Who was that? Was that
That
Oceanus?
was Oceanus.
Is Ted remembering Oceanus and
Perhaps.
trying to make him a snack?
Perhaps.
Well, Narita will ask for a portion, even though she's not really into the pickle noodles, but will encourage his creativity
Ted will offer it to you.
Oh,
Ted doesn't actually eat.
yeah, so he's just wasting food here. Got it. Is there someone back at the station that I could? I guess if anyone else is planning to go to the Nautilus ship to have words with the kind folks there, Narita will also tag along to try to discuss the Chiron business. Is anyone else going? No.
Well, the
Not
Manan
Fritz.
is currently orbiting Chiron.
Oh, that's right. And it's already out. That's right. It's not back
Yeah,
at Saltmarsh.
they have shipped
It's a
out.
heck of a walk.
You could
Just
send a
casually
message.
stroll across the space. We can send them a message. I guess so. She'll send out a message. I just don't even know how she would like word that so that they would be like, "Excuse us, why are you asking? You're not part of this bullshit. What are you doing?" just
I
throw it
hope
out
this
there. See what
transmission
happens.
finds you well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please tell me about your secret
fellow
plans.
Nautiloids.
It's like I too am a nautilid. Please tell me things.
So you contemplate how to best word a letter to check in with your fellow Nautilids.
Fellow nautilids, it is I, Narita.
Yeah, I mean you are a seeker, so if you feel like you have anything you would like to share with them, and then after that ask if they have any updates.
I would like to check in on the status of the brainworms.
Yes. It's probably perfectly valid. The various world ships theoretically do communicate with each other because it's important to everyone. If anyone happens to find any good water.
We do need the good water. Okay, we'll try to figure out.
Effervescent mineral water.
So effervescent.
The secret word tonight, if anyone hasn't guessed yet, is effervescent.
Alright, so Narita will be trying to like sort out what to do about Chiron and the effervescent special good water.
So anything particular that you would like to acquire while you're out, Fritz, or just gnomish snacks and goodies in general?
You know, part of it is just we're back in my section of space or close enough to it to
Right.
grab all the
Yep.
goodies from home, as it were, and probably a few extra parts and things for my latest upgrade projects that I'm probably going to take back to the ship. Dive into the part of the warehouse that I've converted to a larger laboratory area and sit down and spend some quality time. Me, myself, Unum, whatever other little things are hanging around, and work on some masterwork stuff.
All right, sounds good. So Fritz,
So you can check off like 16 hours for me.
Fritz is busy crafting.
That's the one downside of having this particular character class, is that actually most of my useful stuff is done out of, time. So time passes.
Yep. All right. Cool. Any errands on Saltmaw?
A few. One thing that, of course, having remembered that I am that my character is a suspicious investigator type, the thing that I realize that Jim is trying to remember, and it's difficult because it's been a while due to real life. But I'm remembering bits and pieces of the Prime Water situation, but I haven't. I'm trying to think that Cole would probably be trying to figure out what evidence currently exists, just to see if there's enough to bring to anybody.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember what we had, and I can't quite remember it. And was it just the word of? Was it just the word of knife catcher, or was it? Did we have another source to corroborate that?
Fritz made a contact on the docks amongst the graveyard shift red shirts, aka the Scarlet Brotherhood, who pointed fingers at Prime Water. Whether or not you could get that individual to testify.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
And then there had also been some research into Prime Water's former rival, Albrecht Drellian, who had sent the fully automated Vext piloted ship out into the galactic frontier, and it went missing. And then after Drellian lost his fortune in that venture, Gellin took over his seat and became the top dog in the Merchants Guild.
Okay. All right. Yes. Okay.
So I don't know that any solid evidence was found. It's all a little bit of a cold case.
Yeah.
And somewhat circumstantial.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yes. Suddenly information has appeared in front of me. This is good. Also then from RP perspective, did Fritz share any of this information, or is Fritz currently keeping? Okay.
Yeah, no, Fritz had let folks know back when this original information about, because it came up in connection with the origins or the ownership of the Space Ghost initially, and this tied back to the Albrecht-Drellian situation, and you also know that Fritz has had an ongoing interest in Vect and AIs. Now we have our own, but also in this ship, the Emperor of the Way, and the Vect Trimaxion, and sort of as a back of mind thing, you know that Fritz has an interest in finding out more about whether or not they really did get hit by this ion storm and whatever happened to the ship and the Vect. Most specifically because Fritz wants to talk to this Vect.
Okay, all right. And so really... Okay, so... Cole is actually slightly curious about this as well. But for his... Oh, whoa! Okay. Thank you, by the way. I'm just going to turn up here and say thank you very much for the gift subs. Thank you very much. That's awesome. A friend of the channel, May, has gifted subs. This is wonderful. But where am I? I've gone crazy. Okay. Yes, so, no, Cole was curious about this as well. To his mind, though, it's like, okay, I can only justify, economically, I can only justify, I mean, we did just get a payoff, but I can only really justify pursuing this if someone wants to hire us to look into this. So the question comes down to, where is Drellian?
He is actually on the station.
Because I figure if anyone would want this looked into further, it would be Albrecht Drellian.
You could contact him.
Yeah. I want to wait until Fritz is available before I do that, though, because they have the more direct line of information, and I think the conversation will probably... I think the conversation will be easier in some ways, having Fritz there. So before that, so that's like a day and a half later. What I think Cole is going to do right now, in the more immediate sense, aside from, so reports where I think Cole already made his reports about, oh, by the way, there's this conspiracy to take down the
yes, Cole did file some reports and send a message to Lee personally in case his reports get ignored by the powers that be. Yeah.
So if Lee is not on duty, he will he'll like check in with her and say hi and stuff and visit and all that.
I'm sure you could catch her off duty at some point during the course of the next 24 hours.
Yeah, well, well, you never know. I mean, she's, if they pulled her for anything, but so there will be that. There will also be the continuous hunt for gigs in general. He'll just to see what else pops up. He'll be looking at channel, basically, going to the pub, checking on the information feed, that kind of deal. To see what's around. I have realized a list of gigs that we haven't gone into yet, that may or may not still be available, but I am going to look and see if anything new has popped up refreshed, or some of those have fallen out, that kind of deal. And if you want, I can go back over the ones that I wrote down, but that's but I didn't know what order you wanted to do that in.
Up to you.
Because also I don't want to suddenly go into this list and supplant anything you may have suddenly in front of you.
One of the perhaps relevant, perhaps not, perhaps only incidental bits of news that pops up on the feed is that the recent trials of a new navigational aid called Jump Dust has had less than satisfactory results. There have been some side effects reported, and some of the users have found themselves jumping off course in a particular direction, and they all end up at a maw, or not necessarily at a maw station, because if they're jumping through maws, they don't need the jump dust, but they all find themselves jumping to the same general area on the edge of the galactic frontier.
That's interesting. Is that like just a news report, or is someone actually hiring out for someone to investigate it?
That's just a news report at the moment, but you could perhaps investigate further.
Yeah, so one could finagle that into a gig then.
You do see it does pop up a little star chart that shows the general location. that they're jumping to.
Hmm.
And it is theoretically within traveling distance.
Okay.
You can
Interesting.
take the Maws to the edge of the network, and then it would take you a few days and multiple jumps to get there, because you do have a class 2 engine now, so it would
That
be
is true.
more feasible now than it might have been previously.
Okay. So that's a thing potentially to look into if one can find a client. Which there's a couple of candidates where I could go to some folks and ask, would you like us to look into this for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Side note, if Rekmara happens to catch the news feed at all, this location may seem a bit familiar. It's in the same general direction as you sense the obelisk shard.
Ooh. Okay.
Just putting that out there.
Love that
Correlation.
effervescent response.
Hang on, I need to just make a quick note. I'm making. I've started taking notes about possible titles for episodes, so I need to just write the word effervescent in there. It's a possibility.
Oh dear.
Okay, it's too late now. It's written down. Yeah. So barring that information coming to light, I will go ahead and let me see. Like, should I let the things that I've got, potential gigs that I have listed up here, and you can tell me if any of these have gone away since have been taken by someone else or have been dropped in the intervening time, since we didn't look into any of these immediately. Now let's see. We did Asteroid Abbey, so that's done. I need to highlight that one. I'm using a spreadsheet. Let's see. Did we do deck planks stolen from a pirate ship? No, we have not. Didn't we? I can't remember. We did do that, didn't we? We turned those in.
I don't know. You did the.
We talked about like
branch
tearing up the bedroom or something to get.
Yes, you talked about it. I don't know if it was done. Could be done.
I don't think we ever did that.
I don't think we actually did it. So that's a possibility. Oh, yeah, that's right. We decided we weren't desperate enough yet.
That is also the room that Rekmara has claimed as his own, so he might have thoughts about people tearing up his woodwork.
We might not want to do that.
Or would we?
My hardwood floors! No!
We just blame it
You
on
would all be
Ted.
dead at some point without me. Okay. Without
true.
Rekmara.
We would be dead
Okay.
with you, sir, who grabbed the branch.
We just went from effervescent to incendiary.
Incandescent.
Yeah.
There are a couple times that
There are
the near
stages.
death was.
There's
sometimes
only
your fault.
one healer in this group, mind you.
I can lay on hands.
He heals sometimes. He hurts sometimes.
It's a 50-50 proposition, right?
That's the way to do it.
I mean, we have options. It's good to know.
No, the same pressure points that you use in massage therapy are the same pressure points that you do strike attacks in martial arts.
Yeah. The same brain cells that grab the branch and the same brain cells that...
Had to wrest us free of said vines. I still remember. Don't worry.
So let's see. I also have on here. The Miners Guild wants folks to track down the thief of expensive mining gear. I don't think we've done that. There's always more undead hunting on Lakshay if we feel like it. And there is actually also that person down there that we didn't follow up with, but that might have more information about the zombie thing, possibly, if we want to pursue that.
There was a zombie hunting druid named
Yeah.
Omri.
Yeah. Did I write that down? I didn't write that down in my notes. I'll write that down now.
Did we ever finish the one like wood thing? So there was like getting the branch, but then wasn't there something else?
You got the branch. The branch of the tree that was used to hang a murderer, and Cole turned that in, and everybody got paid.
Yeah.
There were two possible locations for it, and we chose one of the two locations.
Yes.
And then we were near death and had to leave. I remember now. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't really need a second one, did we?
Yeah. Not that I'm aware of.
I hope.
We got paid in full. There was like also the option of going down and grabbing and reclaiming those fireplaces, but I think she was just going to. That seemed like a job not necessary for someone for people of our particular skills. Let's see. Also, the only other things I've got down here is the Captain Aslan would like help with planetary scans of Chiron, which. That's its own thing. But
are we not ready for brainworms yet? Are we not ready?
I feel as though Cole keeps seeing that and his subconscious just skips over it every time he sees it on the list.
All right. Sorry, which mission was that was in the general direction of the obelisk shard?
The news reports of jump dust trial users ending up jumping off course and ending up heading in the same direction that Rekimura has been sensing another obelisk shard. They, instead of going where they want to, they end up out there somewhere.
Closer to the obelisk shard thing, maybe.
Well,
perhaps. Could be a coincidence. Could be a pattern. It's definitely a pattern of jump dust users ending up in the same place, and they're not trying to go there.
I mean, it sounds like we could negotiate some discount tech if we chose that mission. You know, for science.
Yeah, maybe. We might be able to do that. I'll go ahead and I'll report back in to the folks on the ship just over our comms, or I'll send everybody the info on like things we might potentially turn into gigs, and I'll just list the Miners Guild thing, the undead hunting thing, the planetary scans thing, and the jump dust thing, there was. Are those all? I mean, are those all still viable listed things? Or
the mining equipment has been located as the station security has been cracking down on smuggling of late and been going from sector to sector on the station, searching for contraband, and that has been reappropriated.
Okay, so that one's off the table. The other three are still viable.
The jump dusting is ongoing. That is breaking news.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
As far as collecting more wood for the carpenter, that's she always has some strange request open.
Yeah, that's always potentially open if we want to if we want to go there. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and I'll send that too. So just so that's there, but it's like whatever. So I'll send those 4 things in our group chat, and then we can determine if we want to do any of those.
Fritz is up for checking out the jump dust issue for science, of course, and potentially technology and stuff.
Of course. New technology / drug is not working properly.
Yep. Gotta love the QA process here. Let's do a little investigation on that too.
Do we get to use the jump dust?
Maybe May does. Sorry, maybe Lasnus does.
Do not use the jump dust out of character.
Whomever decides to typically pilots or navigators, either, both can use it. Anybody could use it because it's kind of hallucinogenic. That's the off-market use, though. It's not advertised.
Did you hallucinate and then you end up floating out somewhere near?
They're trying to mimic the effect of roach use. So when you eat a live roach, you hallucinate and you see star charts or something, because apparently the roaches are psychic.
It allows you to experience the Tesseract.
Yeah.
Or so someone told me. I've
Something
never
like
done
that.
Roach. Never.
So it seems like you would need some sort of like education or knowledge about how the star charts fully work before doing this, or else you'll just be like just hallucinating, having a good time.
I was going to say it's a
Some
fine
skill
point
in-
between. Yeah.
some skill
Running
in
the ship while you're.
piloting
Yeah.
might be helpful.
But it sounded like people who know how to pilot still aren't getting where they want to be anyway. So
But also, there are like professional astrogators who use wizard spells to do it, and they are not typically pilots themselves.
okay, so this is a skill that could be learned and harnessed. But...
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And then, of course, there are the gnomes, and nobody else quite knows how they do it.
This is true.
Gnome secrets. Unlike Nautilus secrets, they actually stay secret.
Really, really, really secret.
Miss Oceanus.
Narita's fine with doing the jump dust travel business if we can figure out a way to make it pay out.
Sure. I have no mind giving it a try again. I mean, for the first time.
There is of course the possibility of signing up for a clinical trial of the jump dust. They will want you to sign a waiver because of all of the news that has been breaking, and some sort of release of liability. But that is an option.
How many Nautilus are there out there to try their jump dust? Not this one. No, I'm not signing up. No. That's a nice option, though.
Fritz definitely isn't the signing up type, but Fritz is going to, at some point here when we have a few quiet minutes, have a little side conversation with Shem, the not a lobster,
Okay.
and see if Shem knows anything about people trying to imitate the hallucinogenic effects of roaches with other substances.
Well, Sheb was on a not Nautilid, a Sahuagin world ship for some time, being used in the lobster fighting arena and not being eaten. And he can tell you that the Sahuagin would navigate by using something called rapture weed, and their priestesses were also their astrogators.
Interesting stuff. Fritz will cross-reference that with anything they find out about the jump dust issue.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. So I think I'm getting the feeling that we're kind of leaning toward the jump dust.
It seems that way.
So I think probably if I get that sense over our comm channels or or whatever our space Discord or whatever we're using, then I will. I think I'm gonna probably first go to might go to Iota if possible.
Okay.
Because I think they might be interested in this, just on principle, if nothing else. See if they kind of want to dive into this. Oh, well, yeah. This seems to be the sort of thing of priority. The other thing. I think I will, before I do that though, I will go ahead and I make sure that, because I forgot to mention this among the potential gigs, right? But I think Cole probably also would have sort of, as an aside mention, is which he's slightly hesitant to because he doesn't want to get into big political things, but at the same time, doesn't want the galaxy to end. So he probably would also have mentioned the possibility that if they can hunt down Drellian, they might be able to get. What are Drellian's pronouns? Do we know?
He, him.
He, him. That he might be interested in having us go after the Emperor of the Way, as another possibility. So that'll just be he'll sort of mention that, I guess, as an afterthought, as sort of like, oh, by the way, I just realized we might be able to do this, if folks are interested in pursuing that at some point. Or soon, if it takes precedence for anyone, just let me know. I need to list that amongst the gigs. I forgot to do that.
Fritz is totally like, that doesn't sound very scientific or technological to me.
No, it's true. Yeah, this would be more of a preventing more sort of this would be more of a salvage thing, but then also with an eye toward trying to find evidence to help stop what's going on. But so there might be tech among the salvage, but we don't know yet.
And
If
that
you
would
find it, there would be lots of tech.
Yeah, I mean that's always like gonna raise the interest on Fritz's side too. But jump dust is also super interesting at this point and an active problem. And Fritz is all about the shiny right now. It may be the other is more important in the grand scheme of things, but not of interest to Fritz.
All right. So why don't we go ahead and take a quick break, and then we'll pick up with the conversation with Iota and go from there.
Awesome. All right, cool. We will. We're going to be going to break for a little bit. Breaks these days, I may sometimes need to take a little bit longer for various for the various chronic pain reasons and stuff. But we will be back soon, and so there will be an interview in the interim. See you shortly. Welcome to the break. We have Lindy with us. Yay! Hello. And we wanted to. There's something we wanted to do a deep dive on, and that is the fact that you're playing an actual Alien campaign, Aliens/Predators/ Blade Runner / who knows what else.
Yeah, I've
Please
been told
tell
there's
us about
/
this.
other things, but I haven't been informed as to what those other things are yet. I know. So once a month on my channel, occasionally, a rare occasional twice a month, but usually once a month, we play the Aliens TTRPG by Free League or Free Login. And it's awesome. It's deadly. I think we've had about 10, 11 episodes now. So we've been playing it for a while, and we've only had NPC deaths so far. I'm gonna knock on some wood. But it's DM'd by producer Trav, and we've had some super awesome guests appear on the show so far too. We try to have our base group then we run into awesome NPCs. We've had Grimjack 21502. We've had One Page RPG, formerly known as D&D Page. She's been on there, and we plan on having more guests as well. We've had a couple audio snippets from transmissions from them, but we haven't had them appear yet. And because I'm the one who does all the tech, I know who they are because I make Travis tell me, but the rest of the group doesn't know who they are. But it's super fun. It is definitely very heavy aliens, and we've had a very heavy Blade Runner, and very recently Predator influence as well. So we've got one of our characters is actually a Blade Runner technically, so we've got lots of synthetics. We've got some Yautja on the ship currently. That's fine. They like me, I guess, for some reason. I accidentally killed one of them.
Oh, that's not good. And the Yautja are the predators, right?
Yes, they are the Predators. That's apparently their technical name. I've never seen Predator because I can't watch scary movies or I will get nightmares. I can't watch scary movies or video games. So I hadn't seen Alien or Predator. And then we started playing the game. I was like, dang it, I need to know what we're talking about. So I had my husband sit with me and watch Aliens because apparently that's the less scary one. It was still a very stressful experience, but I kind of know what's up now. But it's a super fun campaign. I love Blade Runner, so I'm all about the Blade Runner aspects because that wasn't scary. And we've been trapped on a planet. We got off the planet. We were sent back down to the planet because we didn't get an actual sample specimen.
No.
The company is the worst. That's all. I think that's the baseline. Is the company is the worst, and try to survive. We've got a very eclectic crew. I think we were sent down to the planet in the first place because they wanted us to die. That's how incompetent we kind of are to a certain extent. Yet we've survived, so we've got to have some base level of competency. We've got a Blade Runner who's a company man, but basically has seen how awful the company is and is more on our side now. We've got a synthetic from the era of the Blade Runner movies. So a very, very old synthetic one that actually has like the emotions and stuff and is basically almost next to human. Basically the same as Rachel from Blade Runner. Same model as that. So that was super fun. And then I'm the medic who got promoted to captain because I was the next highest ranking after our captain died, episode 1. I'm the worst medic. I am actually a con artist who said I was a medic because I wanted the easy paycheck. My medical bag is super glue, morphine, and whiskey because that's all you need.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's
all you need.
That's most of the field medic kit. I think just in general, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fine. But the company man doesn't think so, and we're not friends. So that's me. I'm the captain, and then we've got 2 real, typical Marines from Aliens. They just want to, kill stuff and make it out of here alive. And they're so great. I adore them. We've had a super fun group of NPCs because Travis is amazing with his NPC work and just the depth in storytelling. And then we've had a couple guests. The guests have been scientists that we've been sent to the planet to rescue. And we found out that they may have other secrets. And it's fine.
Yes, it's all just fine. Everything's fine.
It's not fine. We're all gonna die. But it's a very exciting series. Each episode is about 3-ish hours. We don't really put a hard cap on it. We're like around 3 hours is when we'll find a good stopping point. So I think we have a couple episodes that are 3.5, a couple that are just under 3, but that's about how long they are, and they're usually around 9 p.m. Eastern once a month on Fridays. We try to hype it up the week of to let people know this is Aliens Week, because it's super fun.
I think it's really cool. It's awesome, sort of what from what I've seen of it. I've seen some of the episodes. I haven't seen all of them, but I tune in when I can, and it's just absolutely. I totally agree that what Travis has been doing just with the different characters has been kind of remarkable. Just the fact that he's taking, I guess the vision Ridley Scott had to put all 3 of these settings together into a cinematic universe years before we even that was even a common phrase, to kind of try to make those work together is really cool, and it it does make me wonder what those other things are, because
I super wonder too. I'm like, have I even seen them? I wasn't alive in the 80s. I don't know. Like, but he's so into it too. It's really magical to have a game master who is so enthusiastic about the genre and the game and the story that they're telling and GMing, and letting you guys expand upon and make your own decisions in. It's got that magical element, I feel, of just of sheer enthusiasm.
it does. It really does. And just I mean, if I had to guess, I would start thinking in terms of like because sadly I was around in the 80s, but and I remember Dark Horse coming out with a lot of crossover comics of different properties that I think could potentially fit. Which, if any of those are being used, there's so much coming, but we shall see. We shall see. But yeah, I really I enjoy seeing just your the way your character in particular just interacts with everyone, because she's very practical, very very Scottish, and,
I'm just trying to get everyone off this bloody rock alive.
That's so good.
Never wanted to be captain. It just happened. And she was like 2 days for like 2 weeks from retirement before all this shit happened, and now she's like, I just want to not get like triple, quadruple court-martialed for the things we've done. How do we make it out of this alive? Do we just go into hiding?
It's so good. So I just, yeah, this definitely is a campaign which I think just sort of ratchets up the tension from the word go, and I think definitely folks should check it out. Also, yeah, the stuff with the guests have been great. Even down to just us making fun of Greg's character's name. And Dr. Veranda, how dare no. And just the fact that and I won't give too much away, but with the character that Paige comes into play is very interesting, and let's just say bears a certain resemblance to another character, and there's a reason for that, and I think folks should go and check that out. If folks would like to go and check out this glorious thing that you've created and your other stuff, where should they go?
Yes. They should go to Laugh Love Lindy on pretty much any social media, but primarily Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube's where you can find all the previous episodes of Aliens, because it's only once a month. I am able to keep up with that one on YouTube. But just on Twitch and Twitter is when you'll find out what we're doing, when and where. And we just like to have a fun time. It's just a great time to have fun with friends.
Very cool, very cool. Well, I'm going to throw this back to me, or whoever's currently running the game and whatever stream that I'm currently in right now. And we will see you folks later. Take care. Hello.
Not a fan
We're
of you in my face either. Hi, everybody.
How is she? Is she doing okay? Is that the yeah? Yeah. So we have returned. I am. Forgive me as I periodically bite into this sphere of empty space, which you will see that is my dinner. As it is.
That looks
strange
really
thing.
cool.
Yeah, I noticed. Wait a minute. This fruit is the same color as my background. That's my background. How strange. I wonder how that happens.
I love it.
You make me want to run to the kitchen and grab my similarly colored apple. I won't do it though. So.
Yes.
I don't want to see that bite taken.
We must consume the. We must consume the infinite and greater understand it. But anyway, yeah. So stuff. What's happening?
Well, I believe Cole was going to have a conversation with the Maw Keeper, Iota.
Yes. So I will go ahead and over our. Let me actually turn my captions on again. That might help. There we go. So yeah, over our comm channels, I'll go ahead and I'll just sort of specify that. Okay, I'm gonna see if Iota's interested in possibly footing a bill for this one, since this one seems to be a good candidate. And so it is. Does anyone want to come along? Okay, I'll be.
I can if you want. I was going to say I can if you want some technical. I can if you want some technical or informational backup, but I don't really think you need us.
Oh yeah, no, but I think if you want to come, that might be good. Just because I think you were good at talking to Iota in particular. I remember from that meeting.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that just if that sort of might help them make their decision on this.
Narita wants to come too.
Sure. Yep. I mean, it's
Narita has an ulterior motive that involves being nosy and making sure you don't sneak off to meet Lee by yourself. She wants to know about it.
This has already happened.
Did it happen? Well, maybe Narita doesn't want to go anymore. No, I'm kidding. It's okay.
This was a thing that I specified that was first.
I missed it. That's all right.
It was off screen.
Ah.
Because I do not wish to suck up too much time.
You suck up all that time for love. But we'll still go. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I should probably get do a scene with her at some point, but we don't need to right now, probably. But
Rekmara
He'll be
will
there
volunteer.
for the climactic battle. Don't worry. Rekmara is doing what?
Rekmara is going to volunteer. I'll come along for moral support.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, it's just basically, it's like, it's. I figure it'll be helpful, again, if also just Cole is thinking this in his aid, that it's probably good for the other team members to also participate in the job getting sometimes, at least, so that they can kind of get a sense of what it entails. Especially if anything happens to him, so that is so that they will be able to continue to eat after that happens. So yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, just in case.
Reducing the issue of single points of failure, rather having multiple points of failure.
Yeah, yes, that's much more efficient, isn't it? Like. So yeah, so we'll I guess we'll head over then to wherever the mall keeper resides.
Okay. So you head to the.
Do you want us to wait, by the way, until after
Keepers.
Fritz is done with the? I'm sorry. Do you want us to wait until after Fritz is done with the upgrades and all
Fritz,
that? Or?
it's a pick up, put down kind of thing. We can do a little time to go do this, and then I can pick up with it later too.
Okay. So yeah, we can do this whenever everyone who wants to come will be available, basically. So if Lasness also wants to come, that's also she's welcome to do so. This is suddenly a group activity. I didn't realize it was going to be.
Well, no, has Fritz returned?
It
Oh yeah,
sounds
no,
like
Fritz has just been on the ship, so doing that other stuff. So Fritz is available to break off and do whatever whenever.
Fritz has been pottering about in engineering.
Okay, well, Lasness returns and proudly announces, "I did the thing!" And then she sees everybody's getting ready to leave, and she says, "Are you guys doing a thing? I can come and help."
And Ted sort of gestures for Lasness to come along. Ted's gonna tag along.
Yes, this has to be at least later that day or possibly the next day because Cole is already doing other things.
Yes. So
on the station.
So the party heads to the mall keeper's meeting room, and Iota greets you. The tall, thin for a jelly blob person of green and gold tones.
Afternoon. If you've got a second, I wanted to talk to you about something that came up over the news feed recently.
Certainly. What is it you would like to discuss?
Well, did you see the reports about this jump dust tests that they've been doing?
Indeed.
And they're all kind of being moved toward this one place, this sort of on the edge of the frontier. And I was wondering if you were thinking that there might be something more involved there.
If one were to ask my opinion, I would say that the military has implemented this trial a bit prematurely, but they did not ask my opinion.
So I'm kind of so something else I was kind of wondering is, as this is something that would ordinarily be outside of what I guess the chain of command would ordinarily look into. I just as it happens, we just got back. We just got an engine upgrade, and there's a possibility we could go and check it out. If you think you might be interested in setting up an expedition like that?
Given the military's tendency to keep their cards close to the vest, I believe a private expedition would not be out of order. Mind you, the Maw stations and we Amoeboid are neutral parties, but I believe Dr. Wu has examined some of these trial patients. She's no longer with the military, and is now the station's chief medical officer, and reports to us rather than to the military. And I believe she would also be interested in any findings.
Okay. Well then, I guess we just need to talk terms.
Certainly.
Now numbers appear magically.
Let me once again look up the going rate for mercenaries and adventurers in the verse.
That's right. We were establishing an actual rate last time, weren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I can remember what page that was on.
That's a thing I should
If I remember
probably
correctly,
write down.
too, we were getting a good rate compared to the pittance that appeared to show up in the published schedules.
Yeah, this is like we were having like
Yeah.
socialism for dark matter.
Yeah. That said,
All right.
when it goes through the negotiation points, Fritz, understanding Iota's particular love of attention to detail, is happy to throw in whatever word you and that apple has eaten his face. Is happy to throw in whatever words and terms
The son of
and
man. Okay.
yeah. Son of Puss and Peep. Anyway,
Attention to detail
Fritz
would be my middle name if amoeboids had such a
it
thing.
had middle names, exactly. And knowing that, Fritz is going to lean on that particular character trait really, really hard. Not quite to the point of making a PowerPoint presentation that has explosions of every portal
We will
in the
make
known
sure
area,
all
but
of the
yeah,
all of the I's are dotted and T's
Dotted,
are crossed.
T's are
and
crossed,
not an
and
iota
SO
is out of place.
not an iota out of place. You are right. And there's your title, Jim.
I'll add it to the list.
Yes. We have a
Right.
better list and record keeping
So-
for title ideas than for actual notes on this campaign. Have you noticed?
So, top tier mercenaries get a rate of 50 credits per day.
Yeah, we were making bank.
Yeah. We were also taking really hard type, like that whole get the weird branch sort of had its own multiplier.
Yes.
And there are 5 of
considering
us.
This is a trip that will take several days. You will be racking up that figure over time.
So our rate is 50. That we've been getting is 50 credits per day per person. Is that what we were looking at?
I
Ish?
believe, yes. Experienced adventurers of your level would probably be getting. Now, technically, you're not affiliated with the faction that makes this figure. You're independents, but you can
That's true.
probably negotiate for that rate since you have done several jobs for the station and you owe them.
Can we make it 6? Our ship is sentient after all.
Yeah, you could probably
Mhm.
swing for
I think we need to.
the 6th crew member.
Sure. You try telling Unum it's not a thing yet. Entity.
Yeah, I was wondering if we should pool if we didn't like actually have a 6th crew member. If we should just like all of us peel off like a 5th of what we make to give to them.
So, well,
Let's
50.
let's see if we can.
Yeah. Yeah, 50 a day per person is that's the 300 a day, right? It's then if it's for
There's
for
only a
6,
little less than.
for those of us who yeah. So,
How many days are we expecting this to take? How many days have everything else taken? Has everything else taken? I know English.
Most of the other jobs that you've gone and done have been, the travel has been fairly quick because they've all been within a sublight engine distance of a Maw station, so you can jump there and back.
and I assume part of the appeal here is that because we've upgraded our engines, it won't take as long for us to get there.
As long to get there.
Yeah.
In theory, it sort of depends on how your navigation checks go and what you may or may not run into along the way. But yes, it would take you longer, take you less time than if you were trying to run out there with your basic Class 1 engine that you previously had.
So let's see. So does 300 a day plus expenses and potential hazard bonuses sound amenable to folks? All right. Cool.
Seems fair. Unum, what do you think?
I have no opinion.
So this is the figure that we present as our rate to Iota. Is Iota amenable to this?
Yes, because Iota is aware of your previous dealings with the Planetary Council and some of the business that has been going on, and believes it is in the best interest of Saltmaw to investigate this matter personally.
Awesome. Excellent.
So, you have your contract. Are there anything you want to do to supply for this mission, or are you ready to head out?
Well, I've already taken care of the main provisions, and we've got the replicator equivalent now. So as long as everyone's okay with eating snacky cakes and cheesy poofs and super hypercarbonated, caffeinated Wahoo juice, we're good. So
Didn't we hook up the fabricator?
yeah,
Yes.
there's that too.
Yeah. So you're probably good to go.
Got plenty of pickle noodles.
I'm kind of torn whether I can actually tell Lee where we're going or not.
Technically speaking, we don't know.
Yeah, that's, well... No, isn't when it says they're all drawn toward the same point in space.
It's an area.
Yeah.
But see, the trick is that no one knows exactly where they're going to end up.
And
yeah, but I figured we're going to that area to look around.
Yeah.
Technically,
we don't know exactly.
Yeah, we don't know the precise. We don't know what the coordinates will be and all that. But it's like have Lee and I had the conversation about not yet. I mean, we've been trading information back and forth behind things, I think, already. So I mean,
you have a bit, yes.
I think Cole, as a matter of habit, is probably going... Yes, let's actually just dive straight into the drama. Cole, as a matter of habit, is going to tell Lee kind of what they're going to be... where they're going to be headed. As sort of the general area, because there's a... He won't say who the client is, because that's confidentiality.
Right.
But he'll kind of, he'll sort of let her know, the sort of what is happening, and that And I mean, this is a thing that came out on the news feed basically, and
Yes.
so that since it's public knowledge, that stuff, he is going to kind of. I don't know that she would have necessarily heard anything, but as far as what might be happening there, but if the conversation happens and and she happens to know things, then there's that as well.
All right. Yep. So you sent Lee a message.
Yeah.
She's happy to know what's going on and that you're heading out, and she will try to keep an eye on things at the station while you're gone, in case anything comes up that you should know about.
I shall be very thankful. And basically, so she doesn't like give any sort of like warnings or don't get involved in this or anything like that. So that's good. That's a good sign.
She might strongly suggest that you don't participate in the actual jump duster trial, because some of those side effects that are less commonly known are very severe, including death.
Yeah, no, that that's not a yeah. I tried something like it once a long time ago, and I do not wish to repeat that experience ever again.
Good.
That does remind me, though. Fritz is going to see about tapping into some back channels to find any information or reports from this Dr. Wu about the people that they've examined, since it doesn't appear that we're going to go talk to Dr. Wu directly.
Okay.
Fritz is going to see if they can hack into some medical records somewhere, something nice and ethical like that.
Nice and ethical.
That's true. We could go talk to Dr. Wu. It's
Is there a way to just track somebody who's part of the trial who's going to use it anyway? And so that way we have a kind of an idea of where they land, where to go.
Except I don't think you can do that kind of tracking across jump.
But I mean, if we had some sort of tracker on them, right, and then went to the general area, it'd probably be easier to find them once they're already there, as opposed to
if we made the same jump, we might. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's an interesting thought.
Yeah. The trick would be to make the jump with them if you're not on the same vessel, since you are not using the substance, and if they get out of range of your equipment, then it'll be kind of like Battleship finding it again. But it's something that you could look into if you wanted to take the time.
I feel like we should actually check in with Dr. Wu now that it's come up.
Okay.
Just because, and actually I did think of it while we were talking, but then of course other stuff and ADHD. But yeah, I think that would probably also be a good idea, just to see if.
I think Fritz is probably going to head back to the ship and just try their method anyway, under the guise of just getting the ship ready. If anybody wants to go talk to Dr. Wu, that'll be fine with Fritz, but they're going to try to do things their own way, they tend to. So
I figure Iota dropped that hint for a reason, so that. So yeah, so Cole is probably going to go and talk to Wu, and again, if anyone else wants to come, they're more than welcome.
Lasness will follow Fritz.
Nerita will go with Cole to talk to Dr. Wu.
Okay.
Rekmara will go see Dr. Wu.
Okay. So you go to the medical bay and you do manage to catch the doctor in between shifts, so she will make time for you. You have previously met her when Lasness was accidentally poisoned and still learning how to do her paladin stuff.
Don't shake things out.
So she is a blue scaled, somewhat reptilian looking individual, humanoid still, one head, 2 arms, 2 legs. But she looks like she might be more closely related to the lizard folk than to the human population of the station. So you might suspect that might be one of the reasons why she quit working for the military and set up a neutral practice on Saltmaw. Yes, Mr. Hayden, you wanted to see me.
Yes, thank you for seeing us.
Of course.
We are about to look into something that we understand you have an interest in potentially. There's and it's regarding the that area of space that those Jim must go to the right tab so that he can have proper nouns. So where the folks from the jump dust test have been ending up.
Yes.
So
I have been conducting some research into the side effects and possible treatments, and I understand that is largely outside of your scope of practice, but I am curious why all of them are jumping to the same place and what's out there. So if you find anyone or anything, I would appreciate being looped in. Because this substance, well, it does seem to work as advertised. Does have some rather extreme side effects in about 4% of users. And I'm concerned.
what kind of side effects are we talking here?
Well, first of all, they shouldn't be jumping to the same place. The miscalculations are less than ideal. And for another, I don't want to see anyone becoming dependent on the substance or losing possession of their faculties as they do with roach use. And not being privy to the precise chemical makeup of this drug, I'm not entirely certain how to treat it, if that is the case. And there have been a few fatalities.
And this was this while they were out there, or is this afterward, or before?
I recently had a patient end up in my sick bay. I should say, I had a body end up on my table. And the circumstances of the death were rather suspect, and it turned out they had been part of this trial. And they just barely made it back when they died en route.
Hmm. Were you allowed to do an autopsy or anything like that?
I was. And the tox screening came back with multiple substances, some of which I haven't seen in this part of the galaxy, and some of which have been contraband since the Rift Wars.
Of course. Well, was there anything else you noticed, or that is, or either in that case or just in this whole thing generally, that you think we should know?
Some of the compounds which I was able to identify are known as black sap, light ichor, and soothe salts. That's all dangerous contraband that's been outlawed for some time. I can only imagine how much more dangerous it would be to mix these substances together.
Cole is going to look to Narita and Rekmara and just sort of be like, did you have anything you wanted to just sort of gesture in case you want to talk, ask Dr. Wu anything?
The specimens you want, as far as research goes, you would prefer that they'd be alive, correct?
Correct. So, if you find anyone who has had an unfortunate fatality out there on the frontier, I would appreciate if you bring them back as well.
Oh, my question was more specifically more for if we were to find people who weren't exactly volunteering for your research.
Oh. How you investigate the people that are behind this compound is, I will leave that up to your discretion. But if you're able to contact someone who's participating in this trial or find out that they've been coerced into the trial, perhaps they would prefer to see me than the military physicians who may be involved. I don't know that they would talk to me, but I seriously doubt the manufacturers of this substance would talk to me either.
That's very fair.
I'm not entirely certain who's behind the making of this drug.
So the drug itself, live specimen, maybe not live specimen, all would be helpful in some way if we brought them back to you.
Yes. If it's any help to narrow down your field of search, the last known recorded use of these substances before they were banned was at a certain. It was common to be used in experimental medicine in the hegemony once upon a time.
Somewhere in the back of Cole's brain, another red thread goes across to hook to another push pin in the conspiracy board.
Ding! You may recall, Rekmara, you found some as yet unidentified substances in the dispensary at the research facility known as Asteroid Abbey, which had a big old statue of Arch-Chancellor Terminus of the Terran hegemony in its war room.
There were substances there?
Rekmara found some substances. One of them, he just rolled the vial across the floor to search for traps. But he still has some of them.
Oh. Well, Rekmara will reach into his cloak and pull out the satchel of specimens that he took from the place and hand them over to the doctor. So, found some strange substances on our outing, possibly related to the undead. Yeah. Perhaps you might want to take a look at these.
No, and it just sort of Cole sees you hand that over, and he's just sort of like, then as that is just like, Oh man, I really am hoping these things are not related, but the more I think about it, the more I think there's probably an
Well?
even chance of that.
Dr. Wu looks at the hypo and at the lozenges, and she confirms, yes, um, that is a specimen of black sap and of sea salts.
Is carrying around illicit substances, huh?
Well, someone has to.
My dear, you're lucky the station security hasn't searched you for contraband yet. I'll be careful with this.
Well, okay, well, you can have it if you really need it.
I don't want them to find it here.
Your research, aren't you? I mean, I suppose the next best thing that we can do is just sprinkle that into Narita's suit.
What an
Next best
effervescent
thing.
idea.
I'll
Next
put
best
this
thing, huh?
away.
I'm gonna feed it to the throw.
No, we don't even know if he's still around anymore.
Just because you can't see it, because you can't remember where it is, doesn't mean the rest of us can't see it occasionally.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, we might want to, put those somewhere that they won't be, in case we end up, in the course of this whole thing, having to, they might come in handy if we end up having to talk to some, shall we say shadier folk at some point.
Yeah. I think having a little something to.
Well, yeah, well, we can. Let's not. Let's not.
Do you know what these substances do?
No idea. Will you please tell us?
The sad thing is, actually, Cole probably should know what some of these things do, if any of them have been in
probably
the.
should know what some
yeah.
of these things do.
If any of them, well, if they've been in the hegemony mostly and not out here, maybe he might not. But if he's,
You could roll a history check, Mr. Hayden.
I will roll a history check. Wait, this game uses dice.
Sometimes we just talk.
This is true, and that's good too. L'histoire. I have no bonus. I have an 8.
You know nothing, Mr. Cole.
Yeah. This is people keep telling me that.
Probably haven't heard of it. If anyone else from outside of Lake Shay would like to also roll a history check.
I'll roll. My bonus can't possibly help this, but I rolled a 2.
Okay. Well, I have found the appropriate page which will allow me and therefore Dr. Wu to tell you what they do. I was really just stalling for time here.
Well
I
done.
have it marked, so I really didn't need to. All right, so black sap is a tarry substance harvested from a tree called the Death's Head Willow. It is a powerful intoxicant. It can be smoked as a concentrate or injected directly into the bloodstream. It's currently in hypo form for injection. A creature subjected to a dose of black sap cannot be charmed or frightened for 1d6 hours. For each dose of black sap consumed, a creature must succeed on a DC 15 Constitution saving throw. We become poisoned for 2d4 hours, an effect that is cumulative with multiple doses. It's valued at about 300 credits per dose. So this may have been something that the military used to give to soldiers before battle. And soothe salts are derived from a naturally occurring crystalline substance. They're red crystals that have been mined from veins in certain parts of the galaxy, not in Ligshay, but elsewhere. Typically in the hegemony is where it's mostly found. They are consumed orally in lozenge-sized doses, and frequent users can be identified by the telltale crimson stain around their mouths. Creatures subjected to dose of sooth salts gain advantage on all intelligence checks for 1d4 hours, and for each dose consumed, you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or become exhausted. And it's valued at 150 credits per dose. So they may have combined this into whatever else they are using to make the jump dust to enhance people's astrogating ability.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Side note, and of course we don't know what a third substance might have been because somebody rolled it into a crack in the floor.
Well, I mean, the doctor told us light ichor, but it could have been that, we don't know.
Could have been light ichor.
But
You don't know.
out of curiosity, what does light ichor do?
Blight ichor. What does blight ichor do?
Sorry.
I'll tell you. It's fine. It is a liquid with potent psychedelic properties. And as we recently learned that the Sahuagin use a plant, an herb, or a seaweed of some kind that also has psychedelic properties to enable their priestesses to astrogate. They have similar properties.
I'm going to guess that's probably the drug closest to the one that Cole tried in his youth.
Probably.
Yeah. It was very strange. All right.
And when you have a bad trip on blight ichor, you end up with the confused condition.
Okay.
And those who use it properly find they have, I believe they have enhanced dexterity.
Thanks, Doc. We'll figure some way to deal with this stuff then. We'll have to. And I just sort of glance around at the others. I'm like, yeah, we need not discuss that here. No need to make the dock here into an accessory. He says jokingly. There was something I can't remember. I feel like there was another thing I wanted to ask about that came up, but I can't remember. So I think I'm done. Anybody else have anything for Dr. Wu? Okay. Thanks, Doc. We'll heads up on all that. We'll let you know if we come across any of that, or Any folks out there that can tell us more about this?
Take care of yourselves.
Thanks.
All right. So you leave sick bay and go back to the ship, or is there anywhere else you would like to go first?
I'm good.
Is anyone going to happen to mention to Fritz that there's a possibility of us needing to bring back dead and or not quite dead people as a part of this mission?
We'll just let it happen when it happens.
That's what I figured. I'll just make some rolls at the time that we need to in order to create suspension devices at that point in time. We're cool.
We got some storage space. It'll work. It's fine. It's fine.
I got, some dry ice and a few electrical circuits floating around. I'm sure I can build something.
All right. Who knows? You may not run into any stranded ships.
Who knows
Or
what can
bodies.
happen? Yeah.
So, are you ready to ship out?
Ready.
Okay.
I think so.
Yep, all set.
Has the party considered how they are going to astrogate to this location?
I thought I was doing the roach.
That roach is our friend.
But I thought I needed it to get lost.
You only have one.
Right. We could probably use it for
Oh wait,
one
didn't
more-
we agree not to eat it?
We have to
And
go
I
get a
think
new
we-
roach.
Guys, I
You
do
only
have
have
the capacity.
one that everybody knows about.
Yes, and I have gnomish technological ability that could get us there.
Cool.
Can we do that instead of eating our friend?
Yeah, because that is so magical.
I didn't really want to eat the roach, so sure, I don't mind not eating the roach.
We have an eventual general location that we are trying for, correct?
Yes, you do.
And I have my grand gnomish set of all of the fluctuating algorithms and all of the other fun technological things
Yes.
that we plug into in the back end that is actually powered by magic, but we don't believe that it's magic. We call it technology. Right? Yeah.
Yes. And
All right.
having run a small prequel adventure set in this universe, I have a slightly better idea of how this gnomish technology came to be. But spoilers.
Mhm.
We'll have to chat behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
That's right. I forget
In the
your.
meantime,
Yeah.
I was going to say, in the meantime, Fritz, it's just a fact. It exists. It works.
Yes.
Technologically speaking, this works for Fritz. So.
All right. I need to jump to the page about void jumps. Ships. Traveling in the verse. Yes, there we go. Just had to find the right bookmark. Okay. Now, if we were doing a blind jump, things would get really interesting. but there are ways to do an assisted jump. We're not going to be using any substances, but using a star chart will help, since you do know the general area that you're trying to get to. You should be able to find a safer course that way. It takes about an hour for the ship to run through simulations and plot the course. And it place you near your intended target, close enough to reach the destination within 10 minutes of sublight travel.
Good job, Unum.
Of course, you can also, for at least the beginning part of the journey, you can follow a specific route along the Maw station to get you to the edge of the network. And then
It's just the void. It's just the jumps that don't have stations at their termini that are problematic. But if we have a,
yes,
we're only aiming for a general region anyway. So
yes,
the calculations just have to keep us out of materializing in the middle of something else.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And since you have do have a general location, you should be able to get there. Now I'm gonna look at the map again and tell you which direction you're heading. So you can take the Maw network to Black Post, which is a planet kind of southeast of Lickshay. It's on the bottom edge of the map there. And then from there, you will start doing your void jumps to get out to where you're actually going. And Rekmara, as the ship and your crewmates start running these simulations, and you make your first jump out into the galactic frontier, you instantly get the sense that you are getting closer to that obelisk shard you have been sensing. In fact, these simulated courses that are being plotted on the navigational console are taking you in that general direction.
All right.
So theoretically, you might be able to help pinpoint that location if you wanted to nudge them in a particular direction. But it's up to you. If you just want to let the computer run the simulation and see where you end up.
We'll let the computer run the simulation. I'm not going to. Rick Morrow's not going to tip his hand right now, but he will actually start preparing a spell. He's going to start preparing the World Seek spell,
Okay.
just to have on hand.
Sounds good.
I'm going to go ahead and see if this works to show the section of the map that we were just talking about in the corner of the screen next to me, so folks can kind of see what it is we were talking about
Yes,
there.
indeed.
I also have World Seek. Are you sure you want to do that? I don't need to prepare it. I've got the spell.
Well, by
Anino.
prepare, I mean prepare to cast it ritually.
Yeah. So it's free. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'm starting up the engines of the ship. I do have that ability to do it correctly each time because it's a tech. Wow. I have the take off checklist ability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And all the simple maneuvers I undertake while piloting a ship go much quicker and smoother. And launching and docking are firmly ingrained in my mind. That's why I want to do loop-de-loops all the time. Can I do one now?
No.
All right. So it takes you some time because it takes an hour to plot this jump each time. But you will not run into any celestial bodies or jump into any dead magic zones. And when you come out of the jump, you are now out in the galactic frontier. Farther away from home than most of you have probably ever been, and closer now to that beacon, Rekmara, that you have been sensing this entire time. You're very close now. It is no longer moving.
Oh. Which direction are we? Like, about how far is it? Is it sort of like on the way if we do another jump, or am I going to have to take a more active hand into pushing it?
It seems like it might be on the way. You feel like you have been jumping toward it each time, and it has stopped moving. So you could now pinpoint where it is, theoretically.
All right. Rekmara is going to actually start casting his World Seek spell.
Okay. How does that work?
Good question. Rekmara honestly thought that he had more skilled navigators on hand. So didn't really think he would need to use this spell. But here we are.
You didn't join up with the crew that had the astrogator.
Rekmara makes a lot of assumptions, and you're about assumptions.
The spell
met an astrogator.
I did.
Who worked for a different crew.
So nice.
Okay, so this spell reveals the path to the nearest planet to you. For the duration, you know the direction and the distance to the nearest planet, planetoid or moon. If you cast the spell while you're on a planet, planetoid or moon, the spell fails. and it lasts for an hour.
Okay. There, you do find a planet nearby. There is a solar system in the area. The beacon of the obelisk shard you're sensing is not on the planet. It seems to be floating somewhere in space between where you are now and where you have located the next planetary system.
Oh, hey,
Okay.
Rekmara found a solar system. Yay.
But you can't see it. It's my spell. I'm assuming that I can only see the results of my spell.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. So anyway, Rekmara is standing in the corner and has done his dance.
Zoned
and-
out.
Yep.
He may be hallucinating.
Wow. I see how it is.
My God, it's full of stars.
Stars.
No. What do you think it looks like when you cast this spell? He's just sitting and meditating, you can't tell.
Yeah.
I think that he just sort of, I don't know what he thinks. Probably something. Pull whatever image you want from either Voltron or She-Ra. It's probably there, in some fashion. I don't know. He just gets maybe a sense of tugging along his senses as to which direction the solar system is. Maybe he might actually have a. Well, wait a minute. No, this doesn't really specify as to whether or not he actually sees what the planet looks like. Only that.
Right.
That's where it is.
I would imagine it's a similar sense to when you sense the obelisk shard. You just you get a kind of you just have a hunch, I guess.
Yeah.
It pulls you in a certain direction, and the planet and the solar system are beyond the point where you sense the obelisk shard. Like perhaps it has come from there, perhaps not.
Well, we should be careful about jumping in that direction. And he's going to draw a line on the navigation map to where the obelisk shard is. Because if we jump too much further beyond this path, we might end up inside a planet.
So we're going to take a look at that. Is this still a jump distance, or are we now at sublight?
It's probably within sublight range.
So let's not jump. Let's not end up inside a planet. And if we've gone to sublight, we'll go ahead and start scanning ahead of us just to make sure we don't get surprised by anything.
Okay.
Including like pirates and people and things like that. So.
Are we now using that hollow table to navigate, or is this a?
I don't think that I've hooked it up to do prospective navigation, but
Okay.
probably have tapped into the computing power of it in order to be able to do the astrogation algorithms. So I don't think that I can do projection. I mean, if I spent some time, I could do projections off of this, but I don't think it's set up to do that right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe next time.
So, you continue onward at sublight speed, and before long, you see drifting on your sensors, and in fact, you'll soon be able to get a visual of it. A ship. dead in the water, so to speak.
Power?
It is damaged. It seems to have lost its power. Power is down, life support is down, navigation and comms are down. There's a big chunk out of the hull.
Explosion style?
No, more
Like a bite?
yes. But you do see, as you come around and it is in visual range, it does say the name of the ship on the side. And at least you can read part of it, and it says the Emperor.
Aha.
I think Rekmara is going to try to use his shard of the obelisk and see if he can contact and connect to the other shard.
You do sense it on board that ship somewhere.
Is it possible to call it out of the ship?
So we don't have to go in there.
How are you planning on doing that?
He is going to try to visualize the shard rising out of the gaping hole in the ship and floating to the handy airlock that the crew could then open and retrieve it without having to set foot off their ship.
So Rick Murat attempts to use the force to call the shard.
Use the force of the shard to call the other shard.
It doesn't quite seem to be moving, but you do have a strong sense of where on the ship it is.
Well, who doesn't want to take a look at a neat wreck?
It's
in
on the
person?
opposite end of the ship than the hole is right now, and there's quite a few locked doors in the way, perhaps.
Well, I bet there's lots of really great stuff on that ship. We should investigate it. And Rekmara goes skipping away to get a spacesuit.
He's cheerful.
Maybe too cheerful.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say he's too cheerful.
Should we be scared right now?
Effervescent.
And as Rekmara goes down to gear up to board the wrecked ship, that's where we're gonna close our episode next time. Yeah. Exploring a very fancy, very ruined ship.
Dang
Fritz
it!
is looking forward to this one.
Just thinking that we should have gone and found Albrecht Trillian ahead of time so that we could have get paid twice for this.
Darn it.
But we didn't know.
How could you have known?
Oh, well. Interesting. Oh, crap. Yeah. I'm just looking at the notes on the, that
Emperor of the
that I
Way.
was sent. Yeah, that you sent me on the Emperor of the Way, and that
Yeah.
there may be a surviving crew person on there, possibly because they wouldn't need oxygen.
Possibly.
Oh dear.
That's the other reason Fritz would be so interested in this. And
Wait. Did I put the wrong name for the ship? Never mind. We'll figure that out later. Never mind.
we'll get our notes straight somewhere.
Yeah. I'm gonna want to find out if we have the specs on that on the Emperor of the Way, and
Yep.
sort of do that thing where we're
Yep.
trying to match them up and see. Have that sequence where we'd have the two on the screen, the scans, and then what we have from the records,
we'll
and
do
see
that.
if they combine and match up.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get the little holodeck thing up and running, so we
Yeah.
can do that. With the visual. How's that?
Yes, you can conduct some proper scans before you board the ship next time.
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
Some very,
we'll do all the serial number checking too.
yeah. So we can get some very, very important, cool-looking sci-fi holograms happening ahead of time, so that we will know what to do. Awesome. Well, this is very cool. I'm very glad to be back, and I am excited to see what's on board this thing.
It's probably something horrible.
Probably.
Alien.
I mean,
Or
you know.
aliens.
The horrible thing is what's swimming around out here that took a bite out of the ship, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Ah, dang. So there was, this was really good. I actually had during the thing. There was a point, and this is the problem with having various forms of ADD and or ADHD. Is there was a thing I think that Rick Mara said that I wanted to note down because it was going to be my favorite moment, and I've forgotten what it was, but I reacted very well to it at the time. There was something I actually applauded when you said it, and I can't remember for the life of me now what it was. One day perhaps I will not have a piece of my brain missing, but we'll see. We don't know if that day will occur on Earth, but we'll see. Well, this was very cool. We're going to go around and once again tell folks who we are and where you can find us, and any final thoughts on the episode, favorite moments, and what have you. And we shall start once more with our station master, Alyssa.
Well, first of all, I was very happy to see Rick Mara finally excited about something. And I was very happy to drop the little plot twist that the jump dust incident and the salvage op were in fact the same mission. My name is Alyssa. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Origami Shuriken. And you can find me back here next week, same time, same channel, for more of this. And this is my only stream I have going on currently. At least my only TTRPG stream. I have been playing video games and crafting occasionally on my own channel, but this is my only TTRPG campaign, and I'm putting all of my energy into it, and I think it's going to be good. So we'll see you next time.
Yay! Awesome. And now let us head over to Mem.
Hey, I'm eating again. It's okay. I chewed really fast and swallowed really fast, so I wouldn't have my mouth full again. Prepared. Favorite moment tonight. I'm gonna be with Jim on this. There was something that happened, and I really enjoyed it when it happened, but then I forgot what it was. I don't know what's going on.
It's going around.
It really is going around. But it was cool to kind of loop back in some of the things that we saw previously, as we always do. But it was still nice to see it again. It was just fun to be back with you all. It's been a few weeks, and I've missed you. I'm sad that I and my ADD brain missed out on the lead business, but apparently it happened off screen, so I was going to miss it no matter what. but can't
We're
wait
only
to see
measuring it out bit by bit.
You're just like, someone's too interested in this. Let me not. I would let you go an entire episode just doing this. Oh.
Jim robbed you of that whole experience in role playing. You should be upset. You should be angry.
I am now that you've mentioned it. You're right.
I'm
How
going
dare
to.
you?
I'm going to plead. I'm going to plead imposter syndrome and chronic pain.
Oh no, you didn't have to. I love it when it happens, and since it happened off screen, I can just make it up in my brain. It's fine. Also, you can find me mostly here, occasionally on my own Twitch channel playing games poorly, on Twitter reposting other people's posts and complaining about stuff, and now on YouTube with random game highlights. Thanks.
Yay! Awesome. And now over to May.
Hey everybody, my name is May. This is pretty much the only place that you can find me. I have a Twitter. Not too much happens there, but if you do check it out, it's got stuff. It's fun. My favorite parts tonight were the effervescent use of the word effervescent. And honestly, the madcap insanity that is the chat room. Keep it up.
That was great.
Thanks for all the fun, everyone. See you next time.
You just know that this is going to come back to bite us, and sooner or later we're going to end up running into a ship called the Effervescent. I just, I can feel it. And over to Cazimi.
There she goes.
Yeah. Oh no!
I was going to say the notes. It comes out as the notes. We're in trouble now. Not that we haven't been the entire time. I'm Cazimi. Tonight, again, there were so many different little pieces that came together. I love the way that our station master has been able to sort of like yank all of our chains now, and they're starting to kind of tie together in some places. Fritz is particularly happy that more than one of these is coming together at the same time. The reveal that this, I hope, is the Emperor of the Way, and following up on that whole storyline is exciting and interesting. I almost said my favorite moment of the day was actually two moments at the beginning and the end when Jim managed to do waiter timing on Mem twice with the food in the mouth. But I'm going to actually stick with a game-related favorite moment. And you can find me here on Sundays. This is where I am. This is where I'll be.
Excellent. Somehow, it's uncanny. And finally, over to Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. You can find me on the Twitters at Anino Gaming. I think my next stream will be this Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for Cyberpunk Red. Things are really heating up. There's a lot of drama going on, so you should totally check it out. And there's a lot of really bad innuendo also going on. You want to find the clip, it's on my Twitter somewhere. It's pretty bad, and I'm just glad that Alyssa did not try to top that this evening, as they threatened.
That just means worse is coming.
Like the laser sword of Damocles.
Oh dear. Awesome. All right, and that leaves me. But before I tell you who I am, I will once again we shall once again bow our heads in thanks to Jade Nebula, who has given unto us these glorious images of our virtual selves. And once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, YouTube, Twitter, and some fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. I think I may be actually a little bit behind on the application, so I will go back and look through those again shortly, as I've had stuff going on. But what am I doing? So tomorrow night's Monday night. Monday nights I'm over on Salty Sweet Games playing in their fantasy sci-fi campaign, Strange Invasion, which is basically a fantasy setting where an alien ship has crashed, although we don't know that's what it is yet, and we are exploring that, and then really just back around to Sunday, and this is we're going to have more of this, because this is basically all that I'm doing on my channel right now. There will be more coming. Tonight actually was a good if tonight is any indicator, and I'm really hoping it is, then hopefully there'll be more stuff soon, as I seem to be doing okay right now, so that's good. So there will be another campaign coming up it's going to be in early September, is when it's going to be happening on Thursday nights, late Thursday nights, run by Taylor, and I'll provide more details about that as that comes up. And again, still got to do things bit by bit as I sort out things medically, but once I kind of am sure I can do more things, then there will be signups for things that I would like to get to, and hopefully that will be soon. We will see. But in the meantime, we are going to let's see. I'm going to send a raid over to I'm going to send a raid over to Matev7, who tonight they were doing the Dreadful Beat of DJ Strahd in this time slot, but right now what they're doing is a Masks campaign, Sunset City. So we're going to go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on and say hi to them with us. Over there you will also recognize Wally, who has played in this channel on our Masks campaign and some one-shots and what have you, along with some other glorious folks. So we're going to go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next time. Farewell.